Good morning. We had a pretty good night. No rain. I think it's the first time in a couple days that we actually haven't had any rain. Today, I'm not really sure what we're doing. We know one thing. It's the pictographs. I think I mentioned on the last video, maybe even the last two videos. And other than that, I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out. We got 2 weeks left. Yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery to me. All right. Okay, well, we're going to get some breakfast and want to hit the road now. It may complicate things because this pictograph panel is best in the shade, and that'll be after about 11 o'clock this morning. But it's really cool right before that, before it goes into shade. So we're going to try to catch it. If we don't, I'll show you some photographs of it. But this is probably one of the top 2 or 3 panels I have seen of pictographs in the Southwest. But you can judge from what you've seen that I've shown you already. All right? We will see you later. All right. As we're driving out, there's this map that shows a little about the swell, so you may want to read that. That's the San Rafael swell. So feel free to pause it and read it. Okay, and so this map here shows this swell and shows a lot of stuff all around. So if you look at this, so there's the Museum of the San Rafael. And once we come down, Millside Golf Course. Woohoo! There's the Rochester Creek Rock Art. That's where we spent 2 days. And we're not sure. This Head of Sinbad pictograph panel may have been the ones that we drove out to and then had to turn around. And then we're up here at the Wedge Overlook. And we're going to be going to the Buckhorn Pictograph Panel. We may try to find that dinosaur track, but I think that is not, that's not the way we're going. All right, so we are leaving.
He sees horses. Come here.
He sees horses. He goes nuts. Anyway, we're leaving the little information area about the swell that I just showed you, and had this cutouts. I mean, I have to admit, these are a lot better cutouts than you normally see. 2.3 miles, we will turn on to Buckhorn Draw Road. This is the Green River Cutoff Road, and we will be in Green River possibly tonight. We haven't decided. We got a few things to figure out, but yeah, so we are here in Buckhorn Draw, and we're getting close to the pictograph panel. And we've remembered as we've been driving all these other places we want to see in here, so we'll probably stay here. But what's really interesting is this all used to be just boondocking all through here. And all the old boondocking sites, including this one right here, are now pay campsites. And where you're supposed to pay, we don't know. We haven't seen anything yet. Maybe at the Buckhorn Pictograph Panel. But it is gorgeous here, as you may be noticing, looking out the front. Probably not the best with the sun on the camera, but we're going to be driving back the other way. There were several sites, but we're going to get to the Buckhorn panel, I hope, in time to see a phenomenon there that I really want you to see in person rather than me just showing you some photographs I did years ago. So look at this canyon. Whew. Anyway, there's several things back up the canyon that we're going to go see. So we will probably be camping in the canyon tonight. All right, we'll see you at the panel. Well, we are here at the Buckhorn Pictograph Panel. And I'm just showing you in the sun because I don't think it's as nice to see or as easy to see as when it's in shade. And I said there was a phenomenon, and it may be longer away than I thought, that the sun is way back there. What a bummer. I think I just figured out, based on where the sun is, that it's a 1 o'clock event, not an 11 o'clock event. So we're going to go do some other things and then come back. It happens at high noon, basically, or close to high noon. So that's why I think now 1 o'clock would be safe to, if we miss it, I'll show you my photographs. All right. Well, we came back, and what I think is cool is just the fact that it looks like a seabed. You know, the riffling of the water on the shore, and then it's been turned upright. It's just so cool. As soon as we get full shade, I will be showing you figures, and some of them are in shade. I may go do those now to save time, because we do want to go try a different hike a little bit later. But I thought this was cool. So this is a natural marking right next to the parking lot, but I thought it really had sort of a bird form. It's pretty cool. We're going to be looking at here, there are some petroglyphs. There's not a whole lot of them, and they're from the Fremont people, which were a lot later than the Barrier Canyon style, or Barrier Canyon people, which are civilization, I guess. Which dates back over to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, maybe as much as 8,000 years ago, and they're the ones that are given the attribution for the pictographs that are there. And remember, pictographs are what's painted on the rock. Petroglyphs are what's pecked into the rock. So here's the first panel of petroglyphs. This isn't the most impressive panel. It's still interesting. And there may be some other figures here that you can see the sand has blown onto the rocks. And here, there's maybe a form again. We'll see a lot of places along here where you can see where the nature's reclaiming the artwork, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I'm a little suspicious of this one. It may be old, I don't know. It's just not a form I've ever seen before at all. I suppose? Yeah, okay. We do have petroglyphs here. More petroglyphs when you start looking. Right here we can see up here. There's a man on the back of the elk there, it looks like. Bighorn sheep. Some kind of a claw there. Form right here. Some more forms right here. We have more people. All right. Here's some of our first pictographs. Now you can see here just how the dripping mud from above is starting to erase them, essentially. And one thing on this panel we're going to see a lot of, and you see it right here. Let me see if I can zoom into him. Right here in the center is the snake. This was the thing that was most impressive to me when I first saw this panel, was all the snakes, because I just hadn't seen the representation of snakes like I did here. But you can see the little man here. Is he giving an offering there? The guy on the right, guy on the left, kind of a hallelujah pose. And what's this thing in the middle? And then look at the white. You can see the white above and the white across, like pecked. All right, so moving on. Here, very interesting figures. You tell me. Okay. And here we have all these circles, 3 rows. And actually, if we look back here at the beginning, it
it does look like it's a closed circle. The way they've been drawn, it's not just 2 or 3 parallel lines of dots. It's closed at one end. And this is one of my favorite panels, but again, it's just starting to get washed away as well. Another depiction of a snake. So were these guys snake handlers? It's really hard to tell. With this little guy here. Something next to him. I love these. It's one of my, like I said, it's one of my favorite panels. And I don't think I ever noticed this. I mean, you can see the vertical lines there. There's horizontal and then the vertical. But there was a figure right here. You've got the problem here of both the mud coming down and then the wind blowing across and wiping things out. So I've lost a lot of the detail here. Okay, and this is another one of my favorite ones here. Now he's a good 8-10 feet off the ground here. So they've attributed it to ladders. I've always wondered if the land just, 2,000-3,000 years ago wasn't higher. But here we have another snake. It's interesting, the depiction of ears. It's interesting to me that a lot of these panels are so faded because I don't remember them being this faded. So, right there in the center, looks like another claw of some sort, doesn't it? It's kind of an interesting figure there. Then over here, we have sort of an anthropomorph, but it's got claw hand, it looks like as well. This animal of some sort. And then above the animal, person standing there with something next to him. Okay, and then we get into pretty much the next panel. And we can see this guy, the yellow guy. Now, what they've said is it appears, the figures were originally painted in red, and then maybe for some reason they came back at a later time and religious thoughts and stuff had changed, so maybe they overpainted stuff with yellow. And then notice also each of them in the chest has a scratch area. I think that figure is really interesting. Like, there's no indication there was ever a head there. So I don't know. And this figure, this kind of thing has always intrigued me. What is the arm out there with all the vertical lines? That's what really fascinated me about this panel was there were just things I'd never ever seen before. And I'm thinking this one has gotten faded, but there's also graffiti, which I don't remember at all, even from my photographs. But right there, see the VN? They've tried to erase it to some extent, but idiots. But this, again, another favorite here for me. Got the animals all up above there, the top line. I don't know what the two figures are in the center now above the heads. And then you have these bodies, long bodies, and they all have feet. And then again, right in the center there, you've got what look like bird figures, one upside down and one right side up. I don't know if it's going to show well enough, but those lines under the birds that go across are figures as well. And they're very similar to the figures that are large that we can make out. Again, we have some eared snakes over here, kind of a winged creature there. And these long lines. And these circular figures down here. Again, one right side up and one upside down. And then more of these figures here. Are they carrying spears? And the whole panel again. Okay. These are cool figures. Again, they're pecked in the middle, and whether that was at the time to indicate something or later on someone came back and did it to cancel whatever it was, we don't know. Kind of wonder if we're missing some stuff here with what this might be, particularly right here at the center part. I have no idea. This part here, the little squiggly line, looks sort of like a snake figure. But again, was it supposed to join and go all the way up to the head there? Little T-man here. Alright, now we get kind of to the main area. I'm going to start with this smaller figure. I'll back it off and we can see it in context. But it does look like an animal on the right. And then they talk about these figures maybe being something to do with rain, but they've got wings. The next one, another winged creature. And you can see here, this guy's got like 4 pecked out areas in his torso. And I guess he does have shoes on or boots, not toes showing. And this guy looks like he's holding a snake as well. And then we have this animal that's tilted up for some reason. Turtle, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. It's very interesting. It's like, is there something shooting off his wrist up there and down maybe at one point? And look at that figure next to him. Long, slender. Looks like it has arms and antenna, but it has feet. Or could it be like a pincer thing? What kind of bug has that? I'm not really sure. Yeah. And this figure in the center. A couple figures there underneath the arm of this one darker creature. And this darker creature really interesting. So he's got etched out in his chest as well. Got kind of a sash. Hands out. Multi 6, 7 fingers on the left hand. But what's interesting is it almost looks like behind him, the lighter red figure is a similar figure. So is he painted over it? So here's the last figures over here. Well, I think that'll wrap us up for the Buckhorn Wash Pictograph Panel. We may end the video here, I don't know. This may be the end of a video, maybe its own video, and regardless, glad you guys watch, and yeah, we'll see you on the next, but don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us comments, ask us questions, whatever. All right, we will see you somewhere on the road. All right.